every minute of the day. Buy and sell, buy and sell. The only people calling my iPhone are the clientele.
Nathan, stop it. This is why you keep getting molested.
In 2022, I made a video talking about the Worldcorp Enterprises controversy that happened nearly a decade ago as of recording this. I'm not too proud of that video, nor am I fond of a lot of the videos I made when I was a teenager, since while the reception has always been positive, I'd find my presentation in hindsight to be kinda lacking. This specific video, however, I've always had in the back of my head to eventually redo entirely, as the whole Worldcorp saga is a very unique and interesting footnote in the online horror and mystery sphere, and one that to this day is still rife with misinformation. But what really pushed me over the edge and made me officially commit to making a much more coherent and comprehensive debunking of Worldcorp was the recently released Jeffrey Epstein files. No, not for anything actually contained in the files themselves, but for the simple fact that whenever anything even remotely Pizzagate related is in the news, there will always be a brand new group of morons pushing the infamous fake Worldcorp videos as 100% real, let alone connected to any actual real-world events whatsoever. I mean, for Christ's sake, do we really still believe that John Podesta had a website on the ClearNet where he uploaded videos of him and his elite pedo buddies abusing children, in between a bunch of lo-fi rap songs about doing just that? And not only that, but some people claim that in the original infamous Fatherhood video, he can be heard asking the young boy what his name is, to which he apparently replies accordingly. You know when you're filming a video of you and your elite pedo buddies abusing a child to post to the clear web for everyone to see, and you feel the need to have your full name stated in the middle of it? What is this, some kind of kiddie porn producer tag? Okay, I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. So with all that in mind, I thought I'd take the time out to bring you a much more pointed and detailed timeline of events surrounding the entire Worldcorp narrative, this time being less about the music and more about the actual facts themselves. With how much information is coming out in regards to the evils that those in power participate in, I think it is extremely important to make sure easily debunked misinformation such as this is widely known as what it is: complete and utter bullshit. Plus, I think you guys deserve someone debunking the Worldcorp videos who's a little more competent than, say, I don't know, Plagued Moth. So without further ado, this is the full story of Worldcorp Enterprises.
Suicide note.
Our story begins in 2015 with the creation of a YouTube channel simply titled Worldcorp Enterprises. Their uploads would consist mainly of lyric videos featuring their own original music, with the visuals showcasing their signature computer vomit / vaporwave aesthetic they would come to be known for. They would upload somewhat consistently over the next 2 years, with the channel serving as a means of promoting their website, worldcorpo.net. This site was home to all of their music, as well as a plethora of images and videos made to coincide. The video section in particular would stand out to those who visited the site, as many of them contained bizarre or not safe for work imagery. One video posted to their YouTube channel would garner a lot of attention, when in November of 2016, YouTuber Siva Gunner would include parts of it in a video called Theme Song, Caillou. This video in question, titled Each Day I Grow Some More, depicts what seems to be a young boy in a darkly lit bathroom being yelled at by what sounds like an adult man, with the lyrics of the theme song to the cartoon Caillou being among the taunts, hence the video's inclusion in the Siva Gunner video. Those who watched the mysterious clip, as well as one similar on their channel titled Fatherhood, were left reasonably distressed. When pressed about the legitimacy of the Worldcorp clip, Siva Gunner would claim the video to be fake, leading some to believe that maybe Siva Gunner himself was behind it as an extension of their own ongoing ARG. This entire ordeal would spark a lot of interest in Worldcorp, thus gaining the attention of 4chan's X-Board. From the threads we have archived, we can see various anonymous users relaying their experiences in the long-since defunct Worldcorp Discord server, most notably their interactions with someone simply known as the CEO. Quote, "I know somewhat the source of the screaming in the Fatherhood and Each Day I Grow Some More videos, as well as some other things I learned in a private convo with the CEO, which I am not permitted to share. What I can tell you is that this is a real organization, and they're way bigger than just the internet. When I say there's a rabbit hole, I mean it. You're welcome to ask the CEO himself." Unquote. Before too long, people began to try to connect it to the Pizzagate scandal that had happened earlier the same year. For those not in the know, Pizzagate was a conspiracy theory revolving around leaked emails from Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman, John Podesta. These emails allegedly contained coded language referring to what many believed to be an elite Democrat pedophile and human trafficking ring. That's a very simplified explanation of what Pizzagate is. If I were to go into detail, I'd be here all fucking night. Now, the supposed connection between Worldcorp and Pizzagate was that in the Each Day and Fatherhood videos, the man screaming sounded vaguely like John Podesta.
You think you're hot shit, don't you?
Just get lost.
Plus, as I mentioned in the intro, people have also tried to claim that in one of the videos, the man asks the kid, "What's my name?" To which the child answers back,
John Podesta.
Now, I shouldn't have to tell you how absolutely ridiculous these claims are, because the sheer retardation they emanate should speak for itself. They're entirely baseless and founded on nothing except pure speculation without really anything concrete to tie them together at all. And I can only assume this theory only even exists because of how soon after Pizzagate all of this occurred. And the allegation that the kid says really anything intelligible in these videos is pure confirmation bias from people who already had their minds made up about the videos before they had even seen them. Other batshit theories include the kid speaking Turkish, or the Caillou theme song being a covert way of the adult saying, "I'm John Podesta." But my favorite theory has to be that the kid in the video is none other than former Linkin Park frontman Chester Bennington, which stems from another conspiracy theory that states John Podesta is his father. Just a fucking goat rope of stupid conspiracy theories all around. And this one doesn't even line up because Chester was 22 at the time of Caillou's initial release. You know, either that or good old Johnny P's got some predictive programming on his side. But as with every niche, creepy online phenomenon, interest in Worldcorp would eventually fizzle out and the whole thing would fade into obscurity, and even the Worldcorp website would shortly shut down. This all changed in March of 2019 when YouTuber Scare Theater would upload the 7th entry in his Strange YouTube Videos series. The third and final video covered in this entry was one he had received in an email from an anonymous viewer. The viewer claimed to have found the video on Facebook and that the original source was the omnipresent boogeyman we know as the Dark Web. Titled Dreamer Heaven Level 1 Rain's Demise of Reptile, the video seemed to depict more or less the exact same scenario as the video used in Siva Gunners years prior. With such little to go off of, Scare Theater concluded his video imploring his viewers to look for and provide any and all information that might shed light on this extremely strange and off-putting video. Shortly after, Mutahar of Some Ordinary Gamers would publish a response to Scare Theater's video where he makes the bold-faced claim that the video in question was a small clip taken from a much larger video said to be child exploitation content, thus urging him to remove the Dreamer Heaven segment from his video altogether.
Just to guide you over here, it's a dark video, and if you do find it anywhere on the internet, you should try what you can to combat against it, get it taken down. I mean, at the end of the day, it's an exploitative video at this moment in time.
His source for all this, a single 4chan post. That's it. A single reply left under a 4chan post that reads as follows. Quote, "It's tampered CP found from Pedo Planet. They show 2 minutes and 19 seconds of the video, because at 3 minutes they grab the camera and show the boy's body. He has a plastic bag over his head, and the two men start to remove his shorts. I couldn't watch anymore, but the original, or at least the link found from Pedo Planet, was 32 minutes and 9 seconds. Also, I'm surprised people are finding out about this now. This was from 2011, and maybe even before. But those screams, man. They never leave you." Unquote. The entire video is aimless and inconclusive. Mutahar attempts to demonstrate how easy it would be for someone to grab an illegal video from the dark web and tamper with it like the post suggests, but it doesn't really amount to anything. It's an overall extremely useless video in my opinion, and I find it frustrating that Mutahar, who was once a key figure in demystifying a lot of the deep web mythos back in the day, would be so quick to push sensationalized fictions such as this, entirely based on a single 4chan reply, no less. But regardless of my personal thoughts on the video, there's no denying it was monumental in bringing Worldcorp back into the public eye. After being flooded with comments, Scare Theater would adhere to Mutahar's suggestion and cut out the offending portion of his video, which he then followed up with a separate video titled "Worldcorp is much darker than we thought." Siva Gunner would also remove their video featuring the clip and leave a rather insightful comment under Scare's video. Quote, "Thanks for bringing this information to light. We have removed the theme song Caillou video from our channel. The team member who created the video originally found the Ishta Grow Some More clip on 4chan's X board, and it wasn't until around 3 weeks after we uploaded it that we learned of its connection to Worldcorp. This was because someone claiming to be the quote-unquote CEO of Worldcorp Enterprises messaged one of our team members through Discord about being credited on the video, which we complied with. According to the original creator of the video, the account these messages were sent from is the same account that owned the Worldcorp Discord server linked on their website. I hope this clears up any confusion about our video. If you have any more questions, we've sent you an email with more information." Unquote. All of this would reignite interest in the Worldcorp investigation, and it's how I, and likely many others, heard about it in the first place. From there, YouTubers like Rainbot and Nexpo would make videos covering the topic, and even Mutahar would take another look at it. Unfortunately, the general consensus was that we had no solid way of knowing if the videos were real, but many assumed they were. And at first, no new evidence really came from this second wave of exposure. To make matters worse, following the renewed interest in Worldcorp, most of the remaining social media pages would go down for good. The investigation was at a standstill, but it wouldn't be long before one of the most important discoveries in the whole case would be found. Following Nexpo's video, a now-deleted user took to the Some Ordinary Gamers subreddit recounting an experience they had speaking to a YouTube user in a comment section claiming the entire thing to be a hoax, and that he knew exactly who was behind it. From there, this user was able to speak to the OP directly on a site called eChat, where he then dropped the strongest lead yet: Autistic Boys Money Clan.
Soldier fortune, psyop patch like I'm MK Ultra. Well-known shoulder, better get the FBI trying to pat my folder.
Consisting of Money Goblin, Jep Neptune, yes, that Jep Neptune, Skellimane, Low Poly Priest, Nuke Block, and Tech Linto, this experimental rap group would release one album in 2018 and an EP the following year, before seemingly disbanding, or at the very least going mostly under the radar, save for one or two members. Besides having somewhat similar aesthetics both visually and musically, one rapper in the group, the aforementioned Money Goblin, caught many people's attention for sounding extremely similar to the unidentified rapper on the Worldcorp tracks.
She lives in my basement, but I met her on Minecraft. I'm so big that you couldn't save me with a life raft. You couldn't capture all of me in a single photograph. I sound like the penguin from Toy Story when I laugh. 556 my cartridge, yeah, I'm loading my AR, bitch. Got my robes, I got my sickle, and I'm ready for the harvest. And they're aiming for my heart, but they do not know that I'm heartless. Swing my fist upon these players like I'm mentally retarded.
On the surface, many of the similarities seemed purely anecdotal, to the point where even Mutahar dismissed there being any strong connection in his second video.
I feel like it may be true. I think it's a little out there for me to just say it's the same exact person.
But upon further analysis, indicators of ABMC's association became more and more apparent, such as in this video from 2017, where the name Worldcorp Enterprises briefly flashes on screen around the 4-second mark. The new general consensus quickly became Worldcorp being a marketing stunt using possibly real child exploitation footage as a means of promoting their music, and when that backfired, they went into hiding before shortly re-emerging under a new name. And for a lot of people, that was enough and where the story ended. But in reality, that's far from the end of it. We know for certain that at least 5 of the 6 original members from ABMC were involved in Worldcorp, with the exception being Jet Neptune. In fact, to dispel one of the biggest myths besides, the obvious one, Jet was never really a big part of Worldcorp, at least not in the way people think. He was reportedly in the server, but he's not in any of the videos, and he isn't on any of the songs, save for one short piece of audio titled Spit on Yourself. So Jet is kind of irrelevant to the entire investigation. So with that out of the way, the biggest question one might have is, who is the supposed CEO? To answer this, you need look no further than the CEO's former Twitter account, which had the incredible handle of @shitfreak99. The account is long gone, but if you search for that handle today, you'll find a total of 3 posts. One being from an account named Explosive Waffles, which will be important later, and 2 in the form of a quote tweet and subsequent reply to a deleted post that simply read, "Everyone go listen to the best rapper in town, Jameson Miglis," followed by @shitfreak99, make a trape song. Now, if you're to go and look at the history of the CEO's Steam username, you can see that the first 2 names were Jamigala and Jamigalis, respectively. From this, we can now confirm this to be the full legal name of the CEO. Alright, cool, but who is Jameson Miglis? Well, in 2022, YouTuber Brandon Buckingham would upload a 4th of July video featuring, among others, Jet Neptune and Money Goblin of ABMC.
It's the only beginning. It's July 4th. It's July 4th. You care about America, you celebrating tonight. You ain't celebrating tonight, f*** you.
In the original description, Money Goblin was credited not under his alias, but under the name of Jameson. Before long, people were able to connect the dots, and the description would quickly be edited to remove the credit. However, it can still be viewed today on the Wayback Machine. So without a shadow of a doubt, the Worldcorp Enterprises CEO is confirmed to be Money Goblin, aka Jameson Miglis. With that out of the way, we can move on to the next point, the origin of the videos. Well, for starters, Each Day I Grow Some More and Fatherhood first appeared on their YouTube channel and then subsequently on their website. The quote-unquote Dreamer Heaven video also first popped up on their site under its actual title, Showtime. It would later be retitled and spread across Facebook in many Spanish-speaking regions around 2018 to 2019 under this new title. With that being said, the site marks the first instance of any of these videos being available on the internet in any capacity, therefore confirming worldcorpo.net to be the actual original source. So now, who made them? And more importantly, who appears in them? Well, in 2017, YouTuber Sheila Aliens was able to IP grab the Worldcorp email address, which came up as being located in Fork River, New Jersey, which is confirmed to be Money Goblin's hometown. Along with the site's location, a private web server was also found, containing tons of Money Goblin's personal files, including many videos and photos of him and what appears to be his younger brother. We unfortunately don't have access to many of these videos and photos, nor do we have the actual video by Sheila Aliens, but we do have screenshots and a Reddit thread created to discuss it, from which we can gather context clues. While many in the thread take it at face value and play into the whole supposed Pizzagate connection, there are a staggering number of users who are rightfully critical of the whole ordeal and see it for what it is, complete and utter horseshit. This thread is also notable for being one of the earliest instances of what would become the leading theory behind the Worldcorp videos, them being nothing more than a teenager, in this case Money Goblin, terrorizing his younger brother, with the photos found on the web server backing this up. Alright, so let's explore this theory further. The biggest giveaway is that the voice in the videos is extremely similar to the person rapping on the songs, and when taken into consideration that the Showtime video's audio is supposedly pitched down, it becomes even more obvious that the person rapping and the person in the video are undeniably the same.
I'm just a kid who's 4. Each day I grow some more. I'm singing.
Buy a case of beer, I down the whole pack, chilling in my house, I whack my guy.
You think you're hot shit, don't you? What's my name?
Well, damn, you really think you're hot shit. When I'm done with you, you'll be calling it quits.
Following the IP grab, people were able to track down photos from a Forked River Zillow listing of what is believed to be Money Goblin's father's home, in which the bathroom is nearly identical. From what little you can make out in the infamous videos, the tiles, the pipes, and even the shower door line up perfectly. Cross-referencing it further with other better lit Worldcorp videos shot in the same room backs this up even further. There was also this guy named Skits who did this interview with some admins from a Worldcorp Discord server in 2022. His biggest claim to fame is beefing with Money Goblin in like 2019. In this interview, he pretended to have been a real-life friend of his, supposedly confirming this theory and many others. However, the entire interview was a sham, and he completely lied about key details such as knowing Money Goblin and Jet Neptune in real life. I guess you could argue his claims regarding the videos weren't wrong per se, but he also didn't say anything people weren't already saying regarding the situation, and he definitely didn't have any insider info. So this entire interview holds basically no relevance to our current understanding of it. I only bring it up here because it's a common misconception that some people still hold to this day. Regardless, all signs point to these videos being faked. But what if I told you that in addition to this irrefutable proof they were fake, we also know for certain that Money Goblin's little brother was more in on their creation than anyone had previously thought?
I'm back. When my pencil hits the paper from some motherfucking creator, my skill is major. Call myself a rhyme generator, alligator, munching on the haters. Good taste in music, would you like a couple flavors? In school.
This is Bionics, also known as Explosive Waffles. You might recall that name from earlier when I was talking about the Twitter accounts that were documented interacting with the CEO. This is, without a doubt, Money Goblin's younger brother. Going to Explosive Waffles on Twitter, we can see multiple posts from February 20th, 2016, urging popular horror YouTubers of the time to check out Worldcorp. You might notice that these posts were made prior to really anyone online talking about Worldcorp, and you also might notice that they were made before Pizzagate had even fucking broke, making it utterly impossible for it to have even been an inkling of a thought in the minds of anyone involved in the site when creating it. There are also tweets in which he makes reference to Meat Sleep, which, if you don't remember, was a popular mid-2010s ARG that was infamous for being so realistic in its presentation that a large number of people originally thought it to be real. It being mentioned here is a very crucial detail in my opinion, as this clearly demonstrates Bionics had an understanding of horror ARGs such as this one. It might even be safe to assume that Meat was an influence on Worldcorp, what with the whole let's create a disturbing web art project that appears realistic to the point of public concern. The original Explosive Waffles account was eventually abandoned in lieu of a new one. Unfortunately, it's no longer up, but the archive material we do have from it when it was helps to paint a picture of not only what he was like, but what his relationship with his older brother was like as well. On this account, you could find a slew of videos featuring him rapping, complete with Money Goblin ad-libs and cameos, as well as numerous videos of him just messing around with his friends.
Say death to all juice. Yeah, juice. Orange juice, say death to all juice! Oh no!
As you can see, we can infer from these songs and clips that Bionics was pretty edgy himself, making it safe to assume that he was more involved in the whole thing than most would assume. A fact many fail to mention or even notice is at the beginning of each day I Grow Some More, you can hear him start to say, "I didn't say start yet," before quickly being cut off by his older brother. Hell, to suggest it was even genuine abuse in the video is even kind of a stretch, considering the two seemingly still have some kind of relationship with each other, since they actually both appear in the 2022 Brandon Buckingham video.
What's the best part about the 4th of July 2022 for you right now?
Getting lit in Providence, Rhode Island, bro.
Well, if it's fake, then why run from it? If they have nothing to hide, why take it all down and disassociate from it all? Well, the answer to that is pretty obvious in my mind. When the entire internet launches a large-scale investigation on you, trying to dig as deep as possible to find any shred of your personal information, sending it directly to law enforcement and the FBI, all over your edgy art project, I'd say that's more trouble than it's worth. You gotta keep in mind that all parties involved were also very young at the time when all this went down. Bionics was like 8 or 9, and everyone else involved in the project were in their mid to late teens. But the official reason the Worldcorp ended is something along the lines of this. In late 2018, a Worldcorp member and real-life high school friend of Money Goblin, who I won't name publicly, was called into the office and promptly questioned about his involvement with the site by the FBI. Supposedly, he had been reported by fellow classmates after they had caught wind of it. Interestingly, he was not interviewed for the videos, but rather for the lyrical content in some of the songs. In particular, the last line of the track Double Presentation was read out, and he was asked what they had meant by it. Immediately following the interview, the member warned Money Goblin and told him to delete everything, and by the time the FBI had gotten to his house, it was long gone, thus marking the official end of Worldcorp Enterprises. And this was hardly an isolated incident either, as in this 2021 interview, Money Goblin recounts 3 separate police encounters prior to the FBI's involvement.
there was this one guy, he had live streamed himself going on the FBI website and filing like 3 reports. Yeah, I assume that's what people were doing off camera as well, and eventually just caught up to us. Like I knew it was gonna happen one day.
That's scary. Do you ever feel scared because the police might come to your door one day?
I don't think they'll do it again. Before the FBI came, the police came 3 times before that.
Well, was the police scary?
No. Police were not scary. And I'm just talking about my experience. I had to deal with police a bunch of times. But the police are, they didn't really care because it wasn't really in their jurisdiction, I guess.
Sure, they didn't do themselves any favors claiming that the videos were real on the server and all, but at the end of the day, they were still a bunch of stupid teenagers. Obviously, you're not going to want to stand by the stupid shit you did as a teenager years later. To imply they're even trying to hide from it all is a stretch, as that would imply any of the members kept a high profile to begin with. The most you have is Money Goblin, who to this day is still on Instagram, has made cameo appearances in music videos, such as this one from Shed Theory, and has even made a couple appearances on Fish Tank. And if somehow that's still not enough evidence for you to believe that this was all created by the ABMC or that the videos are fake, here's Money Goblin himself joking about Worldcorp on Instagram Live, straight from the horse's mouth.
It's gonna change shit up.
We're gonna be bringing Worldcorp back. We're gonna be going back to the classics. We're gonna be doing fucking Stupid Part 2. We're gonna be doing what's the other one? Double Presentation Part 2. It's called Triple Presentation. High Stakes Part 2. All you fans of High Stakes
Part 2.
High Stakes Part 2 is coming out. We're gonna be doing the one where we put the kid in the shower and then we laugh about that.
We wash the kid.
We wash the kid. It's called We Wash the Kid Part 2. It's coming out.
In conclusion, it should be abundantly clear to basically anyone that these videos are 100% fake. They were created by a group of teenagers as nothing more than an edgy marketing stunt to promote their failed shock site and later on, their music. There is literally no connection to John Podesta, no connection to Pizzagate, and most importantly, absolutely no connection to Jeffrey Epstein. It wasn't even an ARG, as that would imply there was some kind of overarching narrative or even a point. Comparisons can easily be drawn to other online horror artifacts of the time. The unfiction videos of Meat Sleep, the corrupted religious imagery of Imagine Dom, even the creepy website angles seen in creepypastas like Normal Porn for Normal People, or the dystopian corporate themes of Booth World Industries. But what all of these don't have in common with Worldcorp is that they had a point. Worldcorp was more like a LARP, one that was made to get attention, and attention is what they got. Whether it was the kind of attention they wanted is up to your own interpretation. Something I neglected to bring up is that apparently the OP of the 4chan reply that started this entire rumor to begin with came forward and claimed to have made it all up. I didn't bring this up intentionally because frankly we have no way to confirm it, but honestly, whether or not this is the actual poster is completely irrelevant because, well, obviously it's fucking made up. I mean, this is the same board that believes in tulpas and cryptids and shit. If you believe basically anything you read on the goddamn paranormal board, I'm frankly wondering how you're currently alive and breathing. And if there's somehow still doubt in your mind, I ask you this. Why hasn't a single source been found in the decades since the clips have surfaced? Why isn't there a single trace of that supposed source being talked about prior to 2016 whatsoever? I mean, if it happened in 2011, surely there would be at least one mention of it, right? And if I can steal a point from the current Worldcorp Discord server, why do you want it to be real so bad? Perhaps it's because people are desperate to cling to anything concrete in the wake of things like WikiLeaks and Pizzagate, but now in 2026 we do have concrete proof of severe wrongdoing by the elites in the form of the Epstein files. And yet, even with all the very real shit in those documents, it's still not enough for them. People are still posting these staged bullshit videos a decade later despite the mountain of evidence proving them fake. Nothing we have now is violent or graphic enough to satisfy their sick, unquenchable thirst for the truth, so they must resort to peddling completely fabricated and sensationalized nonsense to satiate them and gain them clicks. And it's absolutely fucking harmful. And for a variety of reasons, but the biggest one is that when fabrications like this are allowed to exist in tandem with the truth, it discredits the entire conversation by proxy. You're lending genuinely evil people plausible deniability when you push this shit, because if some of it's fake, what's stopping people from treating it like all of it's fake? Real children are getting, have gotten, and will continue to get hurt as long as there's bogus info out there to keep the masses focusing on the wrong things. I understand there is very little we can do as individuals in the face of situations like these, and it can be a very depressing feeling. But what we can do, and what we have to do, frankly, is stay vigilant against misinformation like the Worldcorp conspiracy. Question everything and verify things like these online to the best of your ability. Just because some retard on Twitter with a blue checkmark and a Roman statue for a profile picture says something doesn't automatically mean it's true. And it is the utmost responsibility of every YouTuber, streamer, social media news outlet, what have you, to not let shit like this fly. Because all it's ever done, and all it ever will do, is delegitimize our own cause. And that is exactly what those in power want. I want to give a big shout out to Lieutenant SnowyRussian and my homie K-Dubs for looking over this script, as well as providing immensely valuable information that I wouldn't have been able to make this video without. And if you'd like to yell at me about why I'm wrong and how these videos are totally 100% real, you can find me on Twitter or join my Discord server. And if you'd like bad music, you could check out my Instagram. I'm out.